A lot of people talk before they become, and that's what makes me different. I kept my mouth shut. I started my inner work 10 years ago, and I never stopped. I always kept a beginner's mind, eager to learn and reach higher levels of consciousness, until after 7 years I realized I am the seeker Soth. I firmly believe that those who are healed can help, but the unhealed cannot and will make things worse. There are a lot of unhealed teachers out there who want to help because it helps them feel better about who they are. It makes them feel whole instead of being whole. They flaunt their brokenness as a badge of honor, using it to connect with you because to work with someone who understands your pain makes it much easier. That's only a half truth. Yes, absolutely, I agree. It feels nice if someone has been through the same, gives you more reason to believe them. The other side of this is that if the teacher isn't healed, all they can do is repeat your pain over and over and over again. Since you are a student, you have no awareness of how much pain there is. This is where it becomes tricky. You are accessing the unconscious mind, a mind connected to infinity. How much pain? How long do you think it takes to hit the bottom of a bottomless pit? Those kinds of teachers will convince you that you are in so much pain, you have to dig deeper and dig up everything that has happened to you since you were born. And all of a sudden, you start remembering things your mind has repressed and bring them to the surface. Only the one who is healed can lead you towards wholeness. The call came in 2010 when I became a stay-at-home mom. That year, I became 33 years old. Before my pregnancy, I was a successful model. I had a steady income and was happily married for 7 years. So after 7 years, finding out that I was pregnant was divine timing. I was committed to becoming a mom. But becoming a stay-at-home mom was a paradigm shift. During my pregnancy, I was already making plans about how fast I would return back to work. But when I saw my little girl in the flesh, there was just nowhere else I wanted to be. I have a very supportive husband who immediately made it clear that he would provide for and protect his family. And when my husband makes a promise to me, he has always kept his word. So my time as a stay-at-home mom was just absolutely wonderful. My husband made sure I had whatever I needed to be the best mom I could be. So there I was, just minding my own business, being a happy family. And in my me time, I just started reading about self-discovery, soul, mind, body, and losing weight. 2 years later, in 2012, I had my small awakening and I decided to become a serious spiritual seeker. This was no coincidence because December 2012 was a very significant day when the collective consciousness was raised on Earth. Not to mention that my birthday is 12/12 and I became 35, which is as well a significant number in becoming enlightened. So for me, my story is clear. Who I am today was not an accident. My soul made sure I ended up here. My whole life, I've always listened to my inner guidance, but I felt heavily misunderstood by my environment. I was never able to explain why luck was always on my side and how I did what I did. I had many friends who always called me for advice, and my feedback felt like common sense. Until I became aware that I wasn't common and that my sense came from a higher mind. That is what makes me different. I was already whole but wasn't conscious of it. I don't come to you from a place of pain but from unconditional love. If you believe in the concept of someone understanding your pain makes them qualified to lead you out of it, you should as well believe that someone who comes from unconditional love is able to lead you towards it. I see a lot of teachers teaching from pain. I don't see many teaching from unconditional love. That is the difference between dual and non-dual. Duality will teach from pain to pleasure, but non-dual teaches from pleasure to unconditional love or passion. Only the non-dual teacher understands that pleasure is still a form of pain. When the false self created her morphic resonance field, a term coined by Rupert Sheldrake, more on that in other episodes, she made sure that pleasure was part of it too. How can you keep people willing to stay in the matrix? By giving them pleasure so they don't wish to leave. Duality is extrinsic motivation, and non-duality is intrinsic motivation. Do you know how to tap into your intrinsic motivation? Most of us don't, because it just takes a whole other level of thinking to reach this place. It takes the vibration of unconditional love, a frequency you can only reach when you give up your dual nature. Are you ready to give up duality? How? When your conscious mind and your subconscious mind become one. Or when the divine masculine energy and the divine feminine energy become one. Or when the left brain and the right brain become one. Choose your pick, because the journey remains the same. In this journey, mothers have a special advantage, which is that their chances to unite the two as one are higher, because motherhood opens the portal between the two. This is a unique opportunity to seek self-realization. This is hard to explain without visualizing it for you, but if you watch my masterclass about the Fabulous One fractal selves, you will learn about the 4 selves that need to unite as one, and what happens within your soul, mind, and body to keep you veiled from your true self. I was able to complete my spiritual awakening journey because I had such a strong foundation built on unconditional love. This allowed me to stand face to face with my inner saboteur, the fake self, without flinching or backing down. I was able to show her love instead of rejection. No matter what she did, I wasn't afraid, and I showed her the opposite of what she showed me. Until I realized who she really was. She was me, the parts of me I had forgotten. When I fully remembered who I was able to complete my shadow integration. The fake self transformed into the fierce self. How many people do you know who can give you a vivid account of what needs to be done to fully integrate your shadow? Wouldn't you agree someone who wants to teach you wholeness would have to know how to do that? Would have to be whole herself? We need more teachers who can speak from a place of wholeness without polarizing. Because that's all they do right now. Fueling you with anger and hate and calling it justice, calling it spiritual, turning on our men, husbands, brothers, and fathers because we think we are justified in calling out their blindness, but are oblivious to our inability to see. Unconscious women leading the masses off the cliff. That's what's happening right in front of us. Are you going to allow yourself to be swept up by their energy? When one building is on fire, the firemen spray water on the surrounding buildings. Otherwise, they might catch on fire. Are you protecting yourself? You can overheat, because all they want is to destroy. They're using your pain and your inability to see clearly as a right to passage to the higher self. Of course, the soul's not going to fall for it. The The soul is not going to allow you through the portal, so you can't reach the mind of source, because that's where you need to be if you wish to become unconditional love. Time creates thoughts. It's on a loop. You go from past to future, back to past, round and round you go. Step out of time. Stay in space, where thoughts have no existence, only pure presence, where stillness is the only sound that takes place. First you must remember, but ultimately you must know who you are. As long as you don't, time will take you to many places, but not where you are. Time takes you out of the present moment. Only the present moment connects to eternity. You can stop time with your mind and unite your separate selves so they become the higher self. I understand this might be abracadabra, but you long for this peace in your heart. You just can't find it in your outside world, therefore you forgot. I am here to remind you that what you desire is within your reach. It's just that you are not used to the way I speak. It doesn't click. You can't connect the dots. But I know, as long as I don't stop, one day you will hear my call and you'll remember what you forgot. Thank you for listening. If you would like to get familiar with the complete teaching of the Fabulous One philosophy, I highly recommend you buy my book. And if you are excited to become a self-master, I invite you to join my online self-mastery school for moms, where I help you transform your inner saboteur into your inner strength so you can make each day your masterpiece. Student level membership is free. Looking forward to seeing you inside.